Good morning. I'll call to order our Board of County Commissioners meeting for Wednesday, October 9th.
Commissioner Stoudemire.
Present.
Vice Chair Harris.
Present.
Chair Waymeyer.
Present.
Commissioner Dunn.
Present.
Commissioner Dickinson.
Present.
And the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
to the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Dang it. Correspondence and organizational business. Today, we have a proclamation to designate October 6th to the 12th as National 4-H Week. Have some folks here from 4-H. Come on up. Good morning. Are you Josie?
Yes. Hi, good morning. My name is Josie Medlin, and I'm the 4-H Program Manager for Franklin County. I will now read the National 4-H Week Proclamation. Whereas 4-H is America's largest youth development organization, supporting nearly 6 million youth across the country, and whereas 4-H has helped 271 youth in Franklin County to become confident, independent, resilient, and compassionate leaders, and whereas 4-H is developed by the Cooperative Extension, a community of more than 100 public universities across the nation that provides experiences where young people learn by doing through hands-on projects in important areas of health, science, agriculture, and civic engagement. And whereas National 4-H Week showcases the incredible ways that 4-H inspires kids to do and highlight the remarkable 4-H youth in Franklin County who work each day to make a positive impact on those around them. Whereas 4-H's network is nearly 600,000 volunteers and 3,500 paraprofessionals, providing caring and supportive mentoring to all 4-H members, helping them to grow into true leaders, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Now, therefore, I, Franklin County 4-H, do hereby proclaim October 6th through the 12th, 2024 as National 4-H through Franklin County, and encourage all of our citizens to recognize 4-H for the significant impact they have made and continue to make by empowering youth with the skills they lead for a lifetime.
All right.
We will now hear from 3 of our officers on council, and they will talk to you about why they're in 4-H.
Great.
I'm Bryn Perry. I am obviously a member of Franklin County 4-H. I am the vice president of Franklin County 4-H. And I've been in 4-H since I was 7. I've been surrounded around it since I was like really, really little. Through family friends and my older sister, I kind of just fell in love with it. The fashion review is always a story I like to tell. So my older sister is about 3 years older than me. So when I was 4, I was at the fashion review. She was modeling her clothes. This is the most boring day ever. They bring out Miss 4-H for the competition, and I just fell in love. So this year I finally got to be Miss 4-H, so it was a really whole circle moment, and I just use 4-H now to exert a positive influence on my community. So,
What's your projects?
I show meat goats. I am in the Leadership and Citizenship Project. I am in the Cooking Project, Floriculture, and I feel like I'm missing something, but I probably am. But
Tried something else?
yes.
Cool.
Any other questions?
What school do you go to?
Ottawa,
What 4-H club are you?
Rowdy Wranglers. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Carly Steinbaugh. I'm a member of the Princeton Goldbusters 4-H Club. I'm starting my 11th year this year. I've held many offices in our club over the years, but I'm currently the treasurer of the Franklin County 4-H Council. A few reasons why I love 4-H is because it's a community. There's always people that are willing to teach you about something you're wanting to learn about. There's always a helping hand around the fair, and there's a lot of diversity. There's something for everyone to do. Like there's a project for everything, whether it's cooking or clothing or livestock, or even if someone likes animals and they can't do livestock, you can show hand pets and things. So it's a very diverse organization.
What about you? What are your projects?
I show market beef, ducks and geese, rabbits, cooking, and I'm also in the leadership and citizenship projects. So I stay pretty busy.
You've been in for 11 years. What's the youngest that you can start in 4-H?
7.
Okay.
We have Clover Buds that's lower than that, but for actual 4-H it's 7. So
Go to Ottawa also? You go to Ottawa also?
I'm homeschooled. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm from the Princeton area.
Thank you.
For your time.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Amelia Behrens. I am a member of the Shaft 4-H Club out of Wellsville. I'm homeschooled, although I'm not in Ottawa either. So I'm in 4-H I've been in 4-H for the past, this is my 12th year, and I just I don't do livestock, but I love 4-H through the community engagement and just being involved with people. I've done anything from food nutrition, photography, basically anything you might see in that building, I've tried it. So I tried a lot of those things. My biggest thing actually has been quilting. I like to try those new and open up those older crafts and try to make them newer and understand how they used to do things on the older days. I'm also the secretary of the county council, and just love 4-H in that way. I love being around people, love learning, all that.
Very cool.
Thank you.
I do have a question on the proclamation. It says 271 youth. Is that this year? I assume that's not.
We had last year from the October of 2023 to October of 2024, we had 271 youth members active in 4-H here in Franklin County. Within our district, which is Osage County, Franklin County, and Anderson County, we had nearly 600 youth enrolled in our district. And so obviously October 1st was the open enrollment for the new year. And I think so far we almost have 100 kids in the district signed up. So it's only been almost just nearly past a week, and most of our youth have already started enrolling. As you can see, 4-H has impacted many of our youth in many ways. One thing that we always like to tell is that it's for everyone, whether you're in school or homeschooled, if you are nonverbal, or if you're a public speaker, there's any way that we can make it appropriate for every youth member enrolled in 4-H. So thank you for having us here and for letting us use your time. We really appreciate you, and we're glad that we came here to talk with you guys today.
Do you have any idea how long 4-H has been in Franklin County? Because I know a lot of these people have been involved in it, maybe as.
Since 1928, 4-H has been an organization.
Holy moly.
So I want to say it's been in Franklin County just about as long as it's been. We became a district with Anderson County about 15 years ago. So it just continues to grow, and we're hoping to keep increasing that number.
Awesome.
So
Good.
That's very cool.
would we be able to get a picture with you guys today?
I'd be happy to.
Do we want to approve the proclamation first?
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Rob.
I really appreciate 4-H. It's a great organization, and watching you people excel. And I've had both of my boys through the organization, and I've got 2 grandkids that will be signing up in the next month or 2.
Very good.
I am amazed at the quality of public speaking. I thought that last year too. It's incredible to me how well you all do at that. So you all need to come looking for jobs here when you're. We'll put you up there and let you speak all the time. So yeah, I bet you are. Yeah.
I would make a
Asked how
motion
young,
to,
we didn't ask how old you could be to sign up for either.
I would make a motion to approve the proclamation.
All right, motion, is there a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Aye.
Thank you so much.
There for the beginning, huh?
Consent agenda today will include emergency vehicle permits, meeting minutes from October 2nd, and to solicit bids to replenish our stock of tires. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
Commissioner Stottlemyre?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn?
Yes.
Commissioner Dickinson?
Yes,
Chair Whitmire?
Yes, first item of business is rezoning application 2407-0013 out on Utah Road. Good morning, Pat.
Morning, Commissioner. Yes, the first rezoning, we are looking at a location commonly known as 2041 Utah Road, roughly 1 mile southwest of Rantoul. The applicant would like to break off 8 acres and sell it as a RE lot. This comes off of 89 acres as it is, and the rest will remain A1. We have a letter from Rural Water 6 that they will provide water, and there'll be room for necessary septic. Infrastructure on Utah Terrace has been newly updated from a previous project, so any added traffic does not appear to be an issue. The board had practically no discussion and there was no public comment on this rezoning. Staff and Planning Commission both recommend approval.
Any questions? Is there a motion to approve rezoning application 2407-0013 and amend our county zoning map accordingly?
So move.
second,
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn?
Yes.
Commissioner Dickinson?
yes,
Commissioner Stottlemyre?
Yes.
Chair Whitmire?
Yes, second item of business, also a rezoning application.
Okay, yes, this is commonly known as 3375 Nebraska Road. The location sits about 800 feet from the city of Ottawa border to the east and roughly a third mile north of K68. The applicant is requesting to rezone 6.22 acres of parcel out of an A1 district into an RE district. This is a family-owned farm that would like to provide the next generation a plot of their own. We have a letter on file from Rural Water 4 stating that it will provide water. The lot is large enough to install septic, and a surveyor has already marked out all the locations for buildings and septic to ensure that it does not fall inside of any of the utility easements associated with the natural gas pipeline that is under that property. There's one individual who spoke against the rezoning, believing that this location was better served for commercial use, as much of the properties to the south currently are zoned industrial and commercial. Board discussion generally accepted that although there are commercial and industrial zoned properties to the south of the family farm, to the south, the family still owns enough property to create a buffer zone of ag land to keep the space between residential and commercial industrial. It would be up to the family to allow any further zoning changes to hinder the potential new parcel as they own all the surrounding land. However, one board member did agree with that this is better suited for commercial and industrial for future use. The Planning Commission voted 6 yea, 1 nay, and 1 recusal due to being an adjoining property owner. The Planning Commission and staff recommend approval.
Comments or questions? Anyone care to make a motion to approve rezoning application 2408-0017 and amend the county zoning map accordingly?
Motion.
second,
Commissioner Dunn?
Yes.
Commissioner Dickinson?
yes,
Commissioner Stottlemyre?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Chair Whitmire?
Yes. The third item is a special use permit application.
Yes, this location is commonly known as 1542 Woodson Road, located 1 mile northwest of Centropolis. This is actually an addendum to the original SX permit from 1995. The applicant is requesting to utilize the 40 acres to the north that the current SX permit allows for their use. The current SX permit allows for this land to be used as a church campground and a Kansas State recognized agritourism facility. The added land is to be utilized primarily for equine activities involving using horses for therapeutic purposes. Some of the other services also provided are retreats for NA and AA individuals, working with the Wounded Warrior Project to work with wounded warriors or veterans, allow local native tribes to perform ritual activities, amongst other affairs, generally along the similar lines. The applicant was asked to give us an update for their future plans. Most of what was included are future structures that would basically improve the ability to serve the functions that are already being provided. They did mention the possibility of additional small cabins and primitive campsites. All structures will go through the same process as any other church camp to meet the proper sanitation, satisfy all freshwater requirements, and have plans of emergency plans for evacuation. The only communication that we had on this SUP was a letter from the neighbor to the east voicing concerns as to added traffic and previous incidents that may have happened. We didn't have anything on file that we could follow that actually showed that these incidents really happened. However, we take it for what it's worth. We did add amended conditions, as we do with all the other camp-type organizations. So they basically are on the same page as all the other church camps going forward. After much questioning of the applicant, the board appeared to feel satisfied with the request and recommended approval unanimously. Staff also recommends approval.
All right.
You might explain to the board what the X stands for on the permit.
I don't actually honestly couldn't tell you. Do you have that information?
Well, it just, that I was there when this all took place, and that was all the businesses that were considered.
Correct. Okay, so now that you've jogged my memory. So these were before zoning. We had to come back and give them permits, basically grandfathering them into the zoning and requirements. Thank you.
Still had to go through the process.
Excuse me?
It still had to go through the full
Correct,
process.
except
until
they're
it
most
was-
likely,
But these were all businesses that existed before zoning.
yes.
And they were allowed to come forward and apply. And none of them had any headaches, if I remember.
Right, and there are actually businesses out there that we probably still need to do something with, but at this time, we're not.
Do you have a list of the, or could you come up with a list?
I could
of
come up
all
with
of
a
them?
list, yes.
I'd like to see that list.
Yeah, I'll get you a list.
No big deal, but just be curious to see back who all they were before. If I
Yeah,
could.
I don't think they'd cause a problem. They've been in business.
No,
since
no,
the 50s.
this is the first thing in
Absolutely.
25 years that's come up.
Sure,
that I know of.
absolutely. Well, yep, and absolutely.
All right. Any other questions for Pat? Is there a motion to approve amending a special use permit SX-0023?
Most improved.
Second.
Commissioner Dickinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Stottlemyre,
Yeah.
Commissioner Harris,
That's,
Commissioner Dunn,
Yes.
Chair Waymeyer.
Yes. All right, Pat, you don't have some things for me to sign. We'll move on to staff reports. Derek?
Yeah, thanks, Colt. Have a couple of my department heads here today, well, several actually. Brandon and Jamie are here to talk about vehicles. They have, they're in need of some upgrades, and rather than give them my blessing to start looking and have them show up with quotes, I wanted them to talk through it with all of you to make sure you agree Two of their vehicles are in desperate need of repairs. I'll let them come up and talk through that, hoping to get your blessing to start looking. I don't think either of them have their eyes set on brand-new, fantastic vehicles, but they are in need of upgrades. I've talked to Jeff to see if Public Works has anything that could potentially be passed down. But they get all of the good out of their vehicles. And frankly, Brandon in particular, since I've been here, that's all Brandon's ever got are hand-me-downs from others. So certainly would be happy for him to be able to get something that's not, got a couple 100,000 miles on it from another department. So Brandon, if you want to come up and talk through, and then Jamie will meet you up here.
All right. So we've got, our department has 3 vehicles. The first one is a 2007 Dodge Durango. That one we inherited from emergency management a number of years ago. This one really hurts because it has a ABS issue, and the component is not made much anymore. It's been discontinued, and there is no aftermarket replacement, and we've tried to send it off to have it repaired, but that was unsuccessful. So we have a vehicle we know what the problem is, it just can't be fixed. So that's a real bummer. I've searched all over the internet trying to find something to replace that part, and there just isn't anything out there. So that one is not being used right now, as it has a brake light on. The next one is a 2005 F-150. That one we inherited from the Planning and Building Department. It's got over 200,000 miles on it, and it needs about $2,000 in repairs. Needs a front end alignment and some new tires, so actually over 2,000 in repairs to get that one back up and safe and really in a better shape than it is. But again, it has over 200,000 miles on it. And we just recently put $300 into that to fix a brake issue on that one just last week. And then we have another 2005 F-150, also inherited from the Planning and Building Department, also over 200,000 miles, and it needs $2,000 in repairs as well. So that one is restricted to driving in town. It has a bearing issue in the front differential that when you take it out on the highway, the steering wheel shakes pretty violently. So that one is no longer going anywhere near those speeds. It's restricted to in town until we can figure something out with that. So those are our vehicle woes right now. And then,
So what are you hoping to, what are you hoping?
yeah, I know vehicles are not cheap. Even if we could get, one decent vehicle, we can consider repairing one, and then have at least one that's in, it doesn't have to be brand new, like Derek said. I'm totally okay with that. Just something more reliable.
What would you probably look for? A pickup?
A pickup, yeah. Yeah, we definitely need
One
that. We're throwing things in the back a lot.
1 or 2 of yours gone?
What's that?
Then send 1 or 2 of your vehicles away?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So the Durango can't be fixed.
Correct.
And I'm paraphrasing, but please disagree. It sounds like the second of the 3 vehicles, the second F-150, even though it has a couple 100,000 miles, again, you all know far more than I do about mechanical stuff, but it may be worth it if there's not any other issue there to repair that one. But the third one with the bearing issues that can't be fixed, maybe that's the one. So consider replacing that, shipping the Durango off, repairing the second F-150.
Yeah.
And then you have, how would that look?
That's probably the route that I would prefer to go. I mean, the one that's shaking really bad on the highway, it has the most miles out of all of them. So, I mean, I think it's at 230,000 or something like that. So, I mean, yeah, I think that the one that needs some alignment components, control arms and things like that is all that one needs. And of course, 2 new tires for the front. I mean, that's repairable, right? I mean, the price tag isn't nice, but at least that one is.
Are you looking for a crew cab at all now? You wouldn't need a crew cab.
No.
And the reason I'm asking is we actually have been in the market for a pickup truck, but my husband wants a crew cab. And to get a decent one, and we wouldn't buy new, but to get a decent one with, under 50,000, you're looking at 25 to 30. Without a crew cab, though, you could probably get one between 20 and 25. Is that kind of the price range? Or have you even looked at all?
I really haven't looked around yet, so.
But that's probably what
We wanted your blessing to even start looking, because if you all thought
you
that
need, yeah.
wanted to see something else, we would not.
Your department's always been one where we send vehicles to get the rest of the good out of them, given that you're not going usually too far from home and you're not emergency responders and all that, but you certainly have. So I think it's time to look at purchasing something different for you.
So basically then, if you all are in agreement, Brandon would just start looking. Once we have some options, of course, we'll be back in to ask for formal approval.
Yeah, as far as I can remember, they've always got hand-me-downs from the beginning of time.
All right, sounds good.
Last thing, just while I'm up here, just wanted to let you know the elevator modernization project at the jail finally kicked off this week. So they are getting started on that. 6 weeks is what they're estimating for completion, but moving in the right direction and work has begun, so.
Good deal.
Wow, they've been very patient.
Yeah, for sure.
Holy moly.
All right, that's all I got. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Well, I started with two 2004 trackers, and in 2021, we replaced the other one because we had some issues, and now the other one that we have has some issues. We had some overheating problems, and when we brought it in and took it down to a shop, they looked at it, and water pump needs to be replaced, and of course, when you do that, then you need to do the belts, or not the belts, but the hoses. And it's also one of those that are designed that you have to pull the whole front off of the engine to replace the water pump because it was designed by an engineer and not by a mechanic. But I did a quick look at the Blue Book value on it, and a clean, good retail on this tracker by this time would be about $3,500. It's not, with the repairs that need to be made, it's not good clean. We're looking at about $2,100 just to get the water pump replaced with all the other items that would need to be replaced as well, just because of normal wear and tear. And then, of course, when they went in, they looked at the brakes, and that's coming up. It's not an immediate item that needs to be replaced, but that would just add further cost to this truck. I'm really pleased with the use that we have gotten out of it over the last 20 years now. But I'm kind of in the same position as Brandon in that I don't want to get a new car, but just get something that's going to be at least within the last decade used. I'm not looking for a truck, but something like a small SUV or a hybrid of some kind where I can keep all the equipment inside under cover. So I'm hoping it's not a big ask. But that's the same, I'm in the same situation with Brandon, and I just wanted you guys is okay to start looking, then you would have the final.
For years during budget discussions, we've acknowledged that your vehicles are getting old towards the end of their life, or at least that last one, and you've always said, hey, let me get the last bit of good out of it, and then when it's ready, we'll buy, look at purchasing something, so.
I appreciate it.
Time's come. You've been great about getting every bit of good out of that, so, and the value, last bit of value out of it.
Yeah, it seems like the last one that you replaced, you found something that was pretty economical too. I mean, it was
Yes.
not a huge ask when you did find the right vehicle, so. Is it work good for you, the size that you got, what you did get for the other
Oh,
one?
yeah, we're happy with it.
Right.
And it was new, which was nice, but we don't need to do that again.
Okay.
All right.
I know when we bought the trackers, we hoped to get 10,000 or 10 years out of them.
Got 20.
We got 20.
And what I would remind all of you of is that, and certainly it's a balancing act when we're doing our budgets, and Janet could talk about this as well. We don't want to keep too much cash on hand because we want to find as much efficiency and give the taxpayers as big a break as we feel like is possible. But for things like this, we do have enough that in our capital outlay that we can do this in '24, and should something happen in '25, I'm confident we can do that too. So from a budget standpoint, no concerns. I think it's time.
Yep.
Awesome, all right, cool,
They disagree?
go for it.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else, Derek?
Nope, thanks, Colt.
Let's see, Tom?
Do not tell us there are any hurricanes heading our way.
There are no hurricanes in our area. Florida is another story.
Gentle rain shower.
Yeah, that was nice.
I take a little bit of rain. I come to you this morning to talk to you a little bit about the radio system. Since about probably 2019, there's been an FBI rule for criminal justice information systems. That's the computer system that dispatch uses to run people on. But it has come out since 2019 that information should be protected, that personal identifiable information should be protected over the air, over the radio system. So we've kind of just ignored it because it's just nobody's been really enforcing it or anything like that now. And the FBI and the Department of Justice are now looking at enforcing that rule. With that being said, KHP is going to take the first hit on that. And that's what they've kind of told us, that they're going to take the first hit and find out what the actual ask is. But what it means for us is we have to meet what they call a certain standard, and it's called AES 256 encryption standard. We currently don't meet that standard right now. We only have about 40 radios in the county that we can actually flash upgrade to meet that standard. But we have, I think, 136 law enforcement radios just alone. So we've kind of talked about this. We've kind of gone through it. We do have an encryption program in our radios that we can enable, and that's what we're going to look at doing. We're going to make the spirit of the law necessarily the letter of the law. That way we can actually say, hey, we are encrypting, but it's not to the standard that they're asking for. But with that being said, when we encrypt, we're going to look at encrypting law enforcement traffic. That'll kill anybody that listens on scanners and stuff like that. They'll no longer be able to hear that. It's a struggle for me as an emergency manager and dealing with interoperability. You guys gave me a mandate that makes sure that everybody's still interoperable. So putting law enforcement on an island really just irks at me just a little bit. But at the same time, we are keeping a lot of our other channels open. I'm on encryption committees in the state and whatnot, and I'm a big fan of maintaining things in the clear so that there's no encryption. So we'll still have a bunch of channels that are still unencrypted. Our ops channels, so if we have multi-event, multi-jurisdictional events or something like that we go to, those will still be in the clear. Law enforcement's going to get real used to turning that knob back and forth to talk groups be able to do what they need to do. But we're looking at encrypting all of our law enforcement talk groups here tomorrow. And that's, some people are annoyed about it, but there's nothing really we can do. We're at that level of we've got to make that encryption standard. We got to make that jump at some point. So I've been looking at trying to reprogram radios this year. We've been working on updating and whatnot, and just when I get done programming, some people, other counties go on the system. So like Anderson County just went on the system. So I got to go back and touch a couple fire departments because their radio channels and stuff like that for interoperability purposes has changed. So we're looking at pushing to ADP encryption, which is the free standard that we have tomorrow. There's no cost to the county for this. It is just my time to go out and shoot, and I probably have the entire law enforcement fleet shot by noon tomorrow, and be ready to move ahead there. I am looking at what it would cost to move those radios that are capable. What would it cost to move those radios that are capable of AES standard to move them over there? Because again, interoperability standards, everybody around us has AES because we were the first to go to the radio system before there was necessarily a standard. So everybody else kind of came after us and actually paid for that price in their radios when they came on. So everybody else has kind of got AES and they're making that jump. And our sheriff's office and the STAR team are not necessarily capable of listening onto that. So for interoperability purposes, I'm looking at what it costs to be able to move them to at least the AES standard so they're interoperable with our law enforcement agencies around us. So,
You say, so as new devices get aged out?
so that's,
or
that,
purchase
that's. the-
ones that are
Yeah,
capable?
that's the plan. There's not gonna be we're not gonna do a big buy for radios like we did back in 2017. So as devices age out or something like that, or they start developing problems with them, and they go through their naturally recurring cycle of aging devices
Is that
out.
what you were referring to when you said the KHP will take the first hit?
Yeah, well, so KHP, there's an audit that's gonna come, so the Department of Justice will come out and do an audit, and they're gonna audit the KHP, and they're gonna say, hey, are your devices, and they're gonna say no.
They're in the same boat we are.
Yeah, they're kind of in the same boat they are, but their radios are already, are closer than ours.
Sure.
They just spent a lot of money on their radios.
Can imagine.
But they've said that they're gonna take that first hit, and then they basically, after they take the hit, they will push it on down to us. So I think we're audited after KHP. So that way they'll say, and what it is they've come out and told us that we have to have a plan. So the plan is that we're going to move to ADP, ADP encryption, and then when our devices are switched out enough to the point where we can move to AES, we'll move to that AES encryption standard.
And that counsel from them that we have to have a plan is consistent with how the federal government has handled every other law and every other facet of what we do. To give them credit, there's an understanding that local governments just can't go out and buy a bunch of equipment to immediately comply with
Correct.
changing standards, but if we have a plan in place, that will suffice. So from a budget standpoint, I'm not concerned. As you said, Cole, as you acknowledged, Tom, we will just upgrade organically as we need to, and that will be fine. I want to commend you, Tom. I know you've been working with law enforcement. You've had great committee with the sheriff, the Ottawa Police Department, the Wellsville Police Department, Sarah Peffley down at 911, been working with Christy. This is not a surprise for our staff. We've been working towards this. However, prior to issuing some kind of press release, wanted to give the five of you opportunity to provide any feedback that you have. But this is not, as Tom has made clear, something that he is initiating or excited about, but it is time for us to cut over and make this transition.
And you're also leaving as much as you can public and as transparent as you can. It's just you're
That's my
abiding
goal.
by the law.
Yep.
So, I think
And
it
that's,
is-
so, and the FEMA stuff, and it's, it's two federal agencies that don't even talk to each other really. So the Department of Justice wants everything encrypted, and the FEMA wants everything not encrypted. So if we have big disasters or something like that, we're supposed to work in the clear, because encryption standards don't necessarily translate. It's a whole nother programming issue. So it is what it is.
I think as you and the sheriff brought it up at the beginning of the year, and that time's come, and
Yeah.
thank you.
A couple other real quick things I got for you. Safety Day, we've got it coming up. It'll be Saturday from 1 to 4. That's when I bring in all of our public safety responders, and we'll hang out in the parking lot from 1 to 4.
This Saturday?
This Saturday. And that's when we get to it's kind of a recruitment drive too. So one of the things that we can do is our volunteers, especially our fire volunteers, are not getting any younger. And so we're always pushing for recruitment and stuff like that. If you ever thought about wanting to be a fireman, the hardest step is walking through the door. The only standard that you actually have in Kansas to be a fireman is having a heartbeat. So come on down, they'll train you and get you to whatever standards we need to get you. My other last thing and I've been sending out emails and people don't know necessarily what to do with it, but the hazard mitigation plan is complete. We took that, a third-party person has done it, but we're a regional plan. So I'll be bringing that to you in the next couple weeks or so to get it adopted. And what that does is allows us to apply for the hazard mitigation grant program. So you guys should be watching for that when it comes up and whatnot, so. All right.
All right. Jamie or Pat, anything? Nope. All right. Public Works. Jeff.
Good morning, Commission. I'll start where I usually do, and that's Old 50. It is going well. They have started putting the asphalt down, have built the super curves up. We are really to the point, when I spoke yesterday with Kilo, we're to the point where they have to do the last overlay. The aprons have been all put in place. There's going to be some more dirt work left, and then the paint will be the final thing. We are on schedule, maybe a little bit ahead of schedule from what we anticipated. I've got some numbers that I need to get to Derek. I haven't given him that opportunity that he may want to review with you at some time, but I really do feel like for the enormity of the job, we're not too far off from where we need to be. But again, I'd like to speak with him about it before he throws that out there to you. The final grade is always the most demanding. So if we could continue to keep the public off for at least another week, especially the big equipment, if you go out there and run on it, those will be felt through the asphalt. So I know they're doing everything that they can, and people have been adhering to the fact that we don't want them out there. So if we could just have another week to keep off those aprons and that stuff set up, it will make a better road surface for all of us. So I do appreciate the public doing that. There are two different contractors that are doing the paint this year. One on that first four stretch of Old 50 for the 4 miles. I do not know when that will occur, but I do know that when Straight Line is coming, and that is, they're dropping the paint off at the shop today. So that usually means within a week or so, we will see the paint companies, Straight Line and Casey and his crews out working on the chip seal roads, as well as the 12 miles on Old 50 that we did in-house. So that is coming. The last thing that two other things. Bobby Davis, who is a long-term employee for Franklin County, nearly 50 years, has retired. I have spoken with Amy, and we were getting a plaque, and we would like to stand him in front of you guys sometime in the near future, and then we'll probably do something out at the shop. But I want to publicly thank Bobby Davis for nearly 50 years of work with Franklin County Public Works, and I'll try to get him in front of you guys at some point in time, if we can. The last thing that I want to talk about is the surplus that we had spoken about. Colt, you'd said something about the possibility of Purple Wave. I did take a few items that were big ticket items off of the list, but I do have a list here if you want to see what we're selling within our department. I probably need approval to put some of those items on surplus. But as she passes those out, I can tell you which ones are vehicles. The side mount mowers that we have are old ones, and they were no longer in the fleet that we're utilizing. The old bucket truck used to be the patch truck, and it doesn't run any longer. The transmission won't pull itself out of the way. So there's not much on here that actually runs anymore. The first 4 items are actually most of your big equipment, but I pulled 29 and 27 off of the list, and we'll sell it next year, use it as a backup, just in case we can actually use some of those parts to interchange. So if we absolutely had to use one of those trucks, I'll put them on next year, and we can.
What are those end dumps, or?
Those are both end dumps. They're both the original ones that Jim Haig bought. They've both had been remotored in a really bad scenario. We could possibly get one of them running again, but we'll use the other for the parts truck if need be. But I'll have that on next year's reimbursement.
When are you trying to auction these, Jeff?
They will be down here on the 15th of October to document those.
Okay.
And I have sent a letter to the other department heads who have sent stuff, and we have gathered some of that information. I don't know that they need to necessarily take that off surplus and put it in front of the commission. I don't know what those lists are. We've just been gathering things that they've asked us to come get. So I can try to get that from them on the next commission meeting if
Well, I would like to give the commissioners, and if you all are fine with this, but I would like to see this ideally as an agenda item. Just
I understand.
so that
If we
the
need to, you
public
can.
see.
Yes, correct.
Because we won't sign a contract till it's voted on, it's just, yeah.
Correct. This is just giving you information that what we are hoping to sell on that list. And I will put it on the agenda next time. There are about 4 items that we will probably in the future replace. One of them is that pull behind air compressor. It's about the 4th one down. We don't have another air compressor except for the one that's on Kirk's truck, so we'll have to have some type of a equipment air compressor. This one just doesn't work anymore. It only works half-time. The cylinder's out of it. The pump doesn't work properly. we spend more time fighting it than we do using it. And then there are three gravity fuel tanks that are about 3/4 the way down the page. I will come at some time and request that we replace that with one actual electric in the field to have enough for all of our blade operators. And then on the second page, right in the middle, that aggregate shoulder spreader is the one that used to be on our trucks but no longer will fit. Our guys have tried to make it work, so we will get rid of it and probably purchase one in the near future that will be more adequate for the equipment that we're using. So those are the only items that I do think that sometime we'll replace. We've been living without them for over a year now.
It'd be nice to clean up the shop and get all that out from under your feet, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I want to remind the other department heads, if you have anything, please get it to me this week, and I will try to get it on the list for you. That's all I have.
See you next week about it. Janet, anything?
Just one thing, just a reminder that tonight is the candidate forum that the Chamber of Commerce is putting on. It'll be held at OMA this time. So we're expecting a couple of national candidates here and our state candidates. So if anyone's interested in that. Next week's advanced ballot, we've had a lot of questions about that. So we're working really hard to get all the voter registrations up to date. And it seems like we have as many come in every day as we can possibly get put on in a day. So struggling really to keep up with that and all the advanced ballot applications. But we'll be working hard on getting those all updated in the next week because next Wednesday is advanced ballot day. So.
All right. Commissioners.
Yeah, we had a great deal at the new ambulance and Wellsville the other day. I thought the county put on very well represented, and the community is very proud to see and it's great that the city police department was doing theirs at the same time also. And what I'm about to tell you, I read in the paper, so I didn't get it directly from Miami County. But they broke ground on the new ambulance station yesterday or the day before at Hillsdale. What was our cost? This is just to kind of get an idea of the deal we worked with the city, and so what was our cost in the neighborhood?
600K, I think, 500 or 600K.
Okay. The quote in the paper, 2.1 million. Same, almost sounds like the same deal. 2-bay, 4-bedroom ambulance station. They bought 20 acres, which I don't know why they bought 20 acres. Maybe the people sold it, wanted to sell the whole thing, or maybe they wanted to protect themselves from what goes in around them, I don't know. But that just goes to show what responsible, good deal this was at the Wellsville. At least, I know they paid $1 million with the ARPA funds, so, but they still put $1 million of their own, which we paid all of ours with ARPA funds. So, as the community realized how good a deal it may have cost, but it still was a really good deal versus going out on our own somewhere and trying to do it. So
Very nice.
that's all.
Don't have anything else. Anything,
I think we were all at the ambulance ribbon cutting. That was a very nice building, and it is a quality building. So I went to the Optimus dinner to celebrate their 50 years serving Franklin County, the children of Franklin County, because every project that they do serves youth. And anytime you go to any service organization meeting, there's quality people there. Unfortunately, a lot of the service organizations are seeing their membership age, and I don't know what it is about younger people that just don't seem to have the time, but we need to change that around because they do a lot of good work. Went to a chamber ribbon cutting on Friday at the Ottawa Bike and Trail e-bike outpost. It's not a very big building that they said that they're actually selling more e-bikes now than regular bikes, so it is definitely something that's coming. And I went to the chamber monthly board meeting yesterday morning, and otherwise, make sure that your voter registration is up to date. Be prepared to vote, and if you don't know who to vote for, come tonight. Or if you can't actually be there tonight at 7, it will be posted on the Ottawa's
They'll be doing a Facebook Live event. They're supposed to also be live streaming it, I believe, over on the public access channel, and I think Ottawa's going to re-air that on their public access channel, and it'll be on Facebook to watch later.
I mean, if you're listening to the Royals game and you want to watch it later, it'll be there later, so no problem.
All right. Is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second? Who's in favor? Aye. All right, we're adjourned.